A fresh report highlights the so-called dirty dozen, fruits and vegetables with the highest levels of pesticide residue. Once again, everyday staples like spinach, strawberries, oh no, not the strawberry, and leafy greens top the list. The data shows that most samples contain multiple pesticides, even after washing. In some cases, so-called forever chemicals are showing up as well, raising new concerns about long-term exposure. Let's go to a man who knows, you know him and love him, Dr. Joe Schwarcz, host of the Dr. Joe Show, and a CJAD 800 Wall of Famer is on the line. Hi, Dr. Joe.
Hey, Elias.
Has life changed for you, by the way, since you're on the Wall of Fame here at CJAD? When you go to a bar now, do you have to pay?
I haven't been to a bar. What can I tell you? Maybe in 60 years.
You should start going because they're going to say, your money's no good here, Dr. Joe. You're a Wall of Famer. It's no good here. Okay, Dr. Joe, let's talk about the pesticides in the food. My son loves berries, okay? After dinner, he's like, je veux fraise. I want strawberries, right? He says that. And then we go and get him a strawberry or a blackberry or a blueberry or a grape or whatever it is, okay? And I look at this list, and everything that he likes is on this list.
Well, you are doing the right thing by giving him the berries or anything else that is on that list. You know, the currency of science is numbers. Mm-hmm. We're always evaluating things. We're comparing things in terms of numbers. Now, what the Environmental Working Group does is look at the data to see how many different pesticides have been detected on produce, not how much of each pesticide, just the number of pesticides. Okay, which of course is not meaningful. Second, what you want to know is whether or not the amount that is detected is below the maximum residue level that is allowed. And in 99% of the cases, it is true that the numbers are below the maximum residue level. And the maximum residue level already has a 100-fold safety factor built in. Let me just give you an example of how these levels are determined. They use a large number of rodents, and they're fed the pesticide in increasing amounts. Now, of course, eventually something will happen. You cut it back to a dose where nothing happens. This is called the no observed adverse effect level. So it's a maximum amount that you can give to an animal without anything happening. That then is divided by safety factor of 100 to determine the human maximum residue level. And 99% of residues that are detected are below the maximum residue level. Oh. So let me give you a number here. A woman of average height, okay, let's say they were eating spinach or eating strawberries. They would have to eat 700 servings of spinach to go above the maximum residue level. They would have to eat 450 servings of strawberries to go above the level, which of course nobody eats that much. So the number of pesticides is not a meaningful way to determine whether or not there's a risk. What you need to determine is whether or not any residue is above the permitted maximum level. And there has been a lot of research to determine those maximum residue levels. The science tells us that the more fruits and vegetables you consume, the better off you are. They are protective in terms of heart disease, protective in terms of diabetes, protective in terms of cancer. So scaring people away from eating these nutritious foods is not doing a service to the community.
I'm telling you, Dr. Joe, it's total fear mongering. You know, like I'm looking at the headline that led me down the path to say, hey, let's talk to Dr. Joe about this. Like 2026 dirty dozen produce, 100% tested positive for pesticides, including forever chemicals. And I'm like, my God, we can't touch this stuff.
Right.
Right.
I can also tell you that when I signed up for the Environmental Working Group's newsletter, the first notice that I get is a request for funds so that they can carry on their work. Okay,
yeah.
And since then, I repeatedly get those kind of requests. Now, of course, they steer us towards eating organic. Mm-hmm. It is true that organic contains fewer pesticides. That's true, but whether or not that is clinically relevant is the question. And now, of course, we can never totally answer that question because you cannot do a study where you take a group of people, who eat only conventional produce, a group who eat only organic, and follow them for 3 or 4 decades to see what the difference is between them in terms of disease patterns. It's not a study that you can do. So we can make guesses. And yes, it's true that organic has fewer, but it still has a number of pesticides that are allowed on organic as long as they come from a natural source. So, for example, copper sulfate, which can be mined. It is a pesticide that is used in organic produce. But that also goes through the same regulatory hoops and hurdles as any other pesticide. So, there is regulation. But if you buy fewer fruits and vegetables because you only want to buy organic, and the organic is more expensive, so you end up buying fewer, that's not what you want to do.
The key here is to load yourself up with fruits and vegetables. That's the key for health.
Absolutely. Now, of course, you wash them. I
need to ask you about that, right? Like the washing, that's the one question I have left here, right? Like when we say wash, am I rinsing? Do I put it in a bowl, fill it with water? What's the right way to wash my fruits and vegetables?
You put it in a colander and you run warm water through it. And you do that for about 20 to 30 seconds. And mix it so that everything in there gets wet. I don't think that you need to use vinegar or baking soda as some recommend. There are no studies that actually show that is beneficial. But washing, 20 to 30 seconds is what you need to do.
And are you definitive on the warm water? I can't use cold?
No, warm water stuff dissolves much better in warm water.
Okay.
Now, there's one other thing I want to mention is that the majority of the pesticides that they found here are fungicides, which prevent the growth of molds on fruits and vegetables. And molds can produce toxic byproducts, especially on grains. So, using these chemicals protects against certain diseases. I mean, nobody uses pesticides because they think that, they haven't been spending enough money on their crops, so they want to spend more money to use pesticides. I mean, farmers do this out of necessity to maximize growing crops and to make sure that the crops don't have any molds on them, which could be problematic.
A question we don't ask enough, like what's the alternative, right? We don't ask that enough. Well, what's the alternative to the pesticides? And as you point out, the alternative is probably worse.
And look, if money is no object and you can choose between organic and conventional, yes, choose the organic. It has fewer pesticides. I don't think it makes a difference, but it may be soothing to your soul. But if you are buying fewer organic because it's more expensive, then you're doing the wrong thing.
Dr. Joe, we'll leave it there. You're the best. Come back real soon.
Thanks, Elias.
Wall of Famer, Dr. Joe Schwarcz.
Unmistakably Canadian.
It's the music that raised you.
The artists raising the bar.
Hi, this is Brian Adams.
Hey, my name's Brett Emmons. I'm from the Glorious Sons.
Hi, I'm Nelly Furtado.
Made in Canada. The station that champions Canadian music.
Loud, proud, and all yours.
No passports required. Just press play.
Tap into Made in Canada now on iHeartRadio.ca
or the free iHeartRadio app.